Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Our lesson today is central angles and measuring arc. At first, what is the meaning of central angles? Central means the center of the circle. Angles mean an angle or vertex at the center of the circle. Like for example, measure angle AMB is an central angle. Its vertex is M, which is the center of the circle, and its two sides are the two radii MA and MB. What is the meaning of arc? The arc is a part of a circle. I can write the arc with two letters like arc AB with this way, or arc ACB. What is the difference between them? AP only mean the minor arc AB, which is represents this part. But AB, which is ACB or AB major, means the arc ACB, which is the greatest arc, or which is greater than AB minor arc. This definition of the central angle. It is an angle whose vertex is the center and its two sides are radii of the circle. As you see, angle AMB is central angle. Its vertex is M and its two sides MA and MB are two radii. For example, the measure of central angle AMD equals 60. So the measure of arc AD equals the measure of central angle AMD, which is 60. Also the measure of arc CB equals the measure of angle CMB, which is equal 90. What about the arc CD? Measure of arc CD equal measure of angle CMD equals 90 minus 60, which is equal 30 degree. What about AB? AB is the diameter and AMB is a straight angle of measure 180. So the measure of arc AB equal 180. The measure of semicircle mean half circle equals 180. What about the measure of the circle? Equals 360. What is the meaning of adjacent arcs? Adjacent arcs mean two arcs in the same circle. They have only one common point. For example, if I have AB is an arc and BC is another arc with common point is B, so I can write AB plus BC equals measure arc ACB or AC only. For example, measure of the arc AD equal measure of the central angle, which is equal 40. What about AC equals the measure of angles AMC, which is equal 60. So the measure of the arc CAD equals measure of arc CA plus measure of arc AD. They are equal 60 plus 40 equals 100. What about the measure of arc BC? The measure of the arc BC equals the measure of arc ACB minus AC. I will repeat it again. BC equals what? Equals ACB, which is equal 180 minus 60, which is equal 120. What about the measure of arc DCB? DCB as you know, AMB is a straight angle of measure 180, so this angle will be 140. So the measure of arc ACB equal the measure of arc DCB equal the measure of circle, which is 360, minus the measure of arc BD, which is equal 140. So they will be 220. The next example. If I have the measure of angle CMD equal 70 and the ratio between AC arc and BD equal 5 to 6, so I will write AC equal 5x and BD equal 6x. As you know, the measure of three angles equal 180, 5x plus 70 plus 6x. 5 plus 6 equal 11, and I will move 70 to the other side with negative sign. 180 minus 70, it will be 110. X will be 110 divided 11, x will be 10. So AC equals 50 and BD equal 60. After that, I will find the measure of arc ACD. 50 plus 70 equals 120. Another example. Find the value of x. As you know, AMB is a straight angle of measure 180. So I can write 4x plus 3x plus 5 equals 180. Get the value 7x plus 5 equals 180. 7x equal 180 minus 5. 7x equal 175. So x equal 175 divided 7 equals 25. So I will write x equal 25. After that, x equal 25, it will be AC will be 50. AD 4 times 25 equal 100. 3 times 25 plus 5 equal 80. This part equal 180 minus 50, it will be 130. After that, I will get the value of each arc. The next one. What about the arc length? Arc length, the length is about from the circumference of the circle. What is the value? I will find the arc length by this rule. The measure of the arc with degree over the measure of the circle, which is 360, multiplying the circumference. What about the circumference? It's equal to by R or by D. For example, if I need to find the length of the arc AB, I will get the measure of the arc, which is equal 108, over the measure of the circle, 360, multiplying 2 by R, which is circumference, to here, by equals 3.14, R equals 5, give me 9.42 centimeter. The next one, the small circle or minor circle, measure of arc AB equals 50 and measure of arc DC also equals 50. AB equal 50 over 360 times 2 by R. The radius here for the minor circle is 7, so I will put 7 and get the result. By the same way, I will get CD 50 over 360, and I will multiply this value to get the circumference. Both results are the same, so AB and CD are congruent. By the same way, I will answer the next measure 1. Query number 1. In the same circle or in congruent circle, the measure of arc equal in length, then the length of the arcs equal in measure. So I will write since measure arc AB equal measure arc CD, then length of arc AB equal length of arc CD. Also the converse, if the length of arc AB equals the length of arc CD, that means the measure of the two arcs are equal. Query number 2. In the same circle or in the congruent circles, if the measure of the arc equals, then the measure of chords equals. That means if measure arc AB equal measure arc CD, that means the length of arc AB equals the length of arc, the length of chord AB, which is equal this part, equals the length of chord CD. Also, if the length of chord AB equals the length of chord CD, that means the measure of the arc AB equals the measure of the arc CD. The next one. As you know, both angles equal 140. So, the remainder two arcs equal 360 minus 140, which is equal to 120. I will use this ratio to get or I will give AD equal 4x, DC equals 7x, so I will write 4x plus 7x equals 360 minus 140, which is equal to 220. So x will be 220 divided 11 equals 20. The first one is 4 multiplying 20, the next one is 7 multiplying 20. 4 multiplying 20, it will be 80. 7 multiplying 20, 140. After that, I will answer number 1, 2, and 3. Query number 3. If two parallel chords are drawn in a circle, then the measure of the two chord arcs are equal in length. That means, since AB parallel to CD, then measure of arc AC equal measure of arc BD. Also, if one of them is tangent and the other is chord, if AB parallel to CD, measure of arc AC equal measure of arc BC. As you see, proves that EC equal FC. Since AB parallel to AF, that mean measure of arc AE equal measure of arc BF. Since in CD is tangent, also CD parallel to AB, that mean AC equal BC by adding. That mean EC as arc equal FC as arc. So CE equal FC. Another example, he told me that AC equals BD and AB equals 3x minus 5, CD equal x plus 3. Since in AC equal BD, then measure arc ABC equal measure arc DCB. I will subtract the arc CB. That mean measure of arc CD equal measure of arc AB. That mean CD equal AB. CD equal AB. That mean 3x minus 5 equal x plus 3. I will change 3x minus x equals 3 plus 5. 3x minus x, it will be 2x. 3 plus 5 equal 8. So x will be 8 divided 2, it will be 4. After that I will get AB. AB equals 3 times 4 minus 5, which is equal 7. The next example, he asked me to prove that measure of arc AB equal measure of arc AD. At first, since an AC is diameter, so measure of arc ABC equal measure of arc ADC. Okay. After that, since in BC equals CD, that mean measure of arc BC equal measure of arc CD. By subtract, I will get measure arc AB equal measure arc AD. That mean AB equal AD as an arc. Also, this example by the similar ways, 40 will be 40, 75, 75. To get this angle, 180 minus 40 minus 1 minus 40 plus 180 minus 40 plus 75, which is equal 65 degree, 65 and 65. After I get the value, I will answer A, B, C, D, and so on. Exercise. To get the measure of arc BD, I will construct perpendicular to the tangent the radius MD. So the measure of angle M will be 50. So the arc DB will be 50. What about the measure of arc AD? 180 minus 40, it will be 140. I need to find the measure of arc ABD. At first I will make construction, two radii MD and MA. Angle MDC equal 90, so this angle will be 120 minus 90, it will be 30. This value also 30 because this is isosceles triangle. So the measure of this angle will be 120 because 180 minus 30 plus 30 equal 120. So the measure of arc AD will be 120. That means measure of the arc ABD equals 360 minus 120 equals 240. In this example I will construct. At first he told me that measure of arc AC equals 80. He asked me to find this arc. I will make a construction. Here this 80, it will be 80 also. So the measure of this angle equal 100. 30 and 100 measure of angle C equal 50 because in triangle CME angle E equals 30, angle M equals 100. I will get C which is equal 50. Here is 50, also here is 50 because isosceles triangle. So this angle will be 80. So the measure of the arc CD will be 80 also. Here is the answer with the steps. How I can get the measure of arc AE? At first I will draw an angle. As you know, this is regular pentagon. I will divide it into 5 angles. So since ABCDE is regular pentagon, then measure of angle AME بيساوي 360 divided 5 which is equal 72 degree. That means measure of arc AE equals measure of angle AME equals 72 degree. MA perpendicular to AX and ME perpendicular to XE because MA and ME are two radii, AX and XE are tangent. Both of them is perpendicular. Since in ABCDE is pentagon, since in AMEX is quadrilateral, the sum of the measure of its angles equals 360, so the measure of angle AXE equals 360 minus this value is 90 and this value is 90, and this angle is equal 72. The result will be 108. Here he asked me to prove that AE equals BC. As you know, since ABCD is a rectangle, that means AB equal CD. Since CD equal CE, that means CE equals AB. Then measure of arc CE equals measure of arc AB. By adding measure of arc EB, CB CE plus EB, that mean measure arc CB, and AB plus BE equal measure of arc AE. That means CB equals AE. By the same way, he told me that measure of arc, length of AC equal length of AB, and measure of arc AC equal 80. This arc equals this arc, this 80, it will be 80, 80, 80. The last one 360 minus 80 plus 80 plus 80, which is equal 120. He asked me to find the measure of angle MAB. MAB, this angle is 80, so this angle will be 180 minus 80 divided 2, which is equal 50. What about CD? CD equals 120. What about the length? Here is the rule of the length equals the measure of the angle over 360 multiplying 2 by r. This is the result. This is the answer. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.